All right, so just in case you're just hopping on, this morning will be a justice flow, which will feel similar to a support flow. For those of you who've been practicing with us every day or every week, you'll want to have 2 blankets, 2 pillows or cushions or sofa cushions, and some water. If you have yoga blocks, those would be nice. If you don't have yoga blocks, you could also grab a few hardcover books or a can of tomato soup, or something like that. This week, we're honored to be partnering with the Virtual Sustained PVD Fair. Check out their amazing lineup of free virtual workshops all week. And just a reminder that in this virtual space, we wish we could see you, but we cannot. So it's up to you to listen to your body and avoid any snap, pinch, or pop sensations. Feel free to pause our flow at any time. Feel free to do your own thing. Feel free to go into child's pose anytime. Feel free to go into your own flow. Just listen to your body and be gentle with your body and stay hydrated. All the donations that we collect from our community virtual yoga during this time of COVID-19 are going to queer, trans, and families of color. You can send your donation to us on Venmo or just shoot us a message. All right, let's get started. So I'm trusting by now that you have some cushions, some pillows, some blankets with you, and if you don't, just pause and go grab them. Let's start in a comfy seat. I'm even gonna get my blanket. And we're gonna use props and support for a very slow, gentle, restorative start to the week. Just easing into this week. So as we ground into a comfortable seat, maybe roll the shoulders open a few times. Letting the shoulders feel heavy, chest open, heart open. Relaxing the jaw, really finding that length from the top back of the head. And let's just settle into the breath. Noticing what we notice. What parts of our body are we feeling? Are we noticing? What's on our mind? What's on our hearts? Bringing some intention to slow the breath down. Long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. Inhaling to lengthen the spine, sitting just a bit taller with every inhale. Exhale, relax, heavy, grounded into the floor, into the earth. Inhale, squeezing the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. And bringing a little bit more intention to this breath work, I'll invite us to inhale for 4 counts, squeezing the shoulders up, then holding the breath for 4 counts, holding the shoulders here, and exhaling to release the shoulders for 4 counts. So let's give that a try together. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale, release, 2, 3, 4, inhale up, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, squeeze, 2, 3, 4, exhale, release, 2, 3, 4, inhale, squeeze, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale, release, 2, 3, 4, inhale, squeeze, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale, release, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's plant the left hand into the floor. Right hand reaches up and over, just moving the spine a bit to wake our spine up, opening up our obliques, our side body. Inhale, stretch, reach, expand, and feel yourself inflating like a balloon on the inhale, and exhaling, deepen, release, relieve to the left. Maybe keep pressing that right hip down. And when you're ready, tilting up and over to the other side. Left arm stretch, reach, left hips pressing into the earth. Lengthen, expand on the inhale, exhale, deepen. And when you're ready, coming back to center. Okay. And before we move into our first restorative pose, I love to do a little experiment. This is one of my favorite experiments to do with twists in particular. So just as you are, I'll invite us to twist to the right. Noticing how far we twist, noticing how this feels. Noticing your field of vision here, and reaching up and over to the other side, twisting to the left. Again, noticing how far we twist, noticing how it feels. Taking note and observation here, coming back to center. And now I'll invite us to engage in a twist with just a little bit more intention and thoughtfulness. So first things first, let's check in with our hips. How are they feeling? If sitting crisscross like this is uncomfortable, one thing that I like to do is just to stuff some blankets or pillows underneath my knees. And once our nervous system gets this message that there's support here for us, we can move our nervous system away from a chronic stress response, away from its trauma response. And once our nervous system picks up this information, our muscles get a message that they can relax, and our whole nervous system is able to ease into rest and digest mode, really kicking in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a big part for me of what mindfulness and yoga is all about, is really giving our parasympathetic nervous system a chance to support the vital functioning of all of our organs. It's good for our digestion, it's good for our blood flow, our circulation. So we really want to activate this rest mode. So support is a really good thing. And that's a very political idea because we're socialized in this capitalist, individualist school system that we all are participating in as children, to think as individuals where support would be a sign of weakness. And in this case, like for your body, support's actually a great way to enhance your experience and deepen your experience. So all that's to say, if you want some support, grab for it. That's what this flow is going to be all about. So to continue our experiment with this twist, first checking in with our base, really checking in. Does our base feel supported? Does our foundation feel supported? Are we supported at our foundation, at our roots? Are we acknowledging our roots? Are we connected to our roots? Are we connected to the earth? So this is our foundation, our base, our stability. Really checking in and noticing right now our hips, our feet are connected to the earth. They're rooting us into the grounds. And then from here, really focusing on extension of the spine, lengthening the spine, reaching as far as we can reach. And this part of our check-in is really about alignment. Are we aligned to support healthy anatomy? Are our shoulders stacked on top of our hips? Are we feeling this length coming from the top back of the head? I love to rub my hands from the base of my neck up my head just to feel that length. Jaw relaxed. And I like to think of this part of our check-in for our twist as aligning with our values, aligning with ourself, aligning with our politics, aligning with justice. So now we've done all this work to check in with our stability and balance, our groundedness, really focusing on alignment and lengthening. Inhale, expand as much as we can here in the midsection. Exhale, release. Inhale, expand. Lengthen, exhale. Now twisting to the right. Feeling the twist in the lower spine, the middle spine, in the upper spine, and the neck, chin turning to the right. And notice if you can go deeper into this twist. Now that we took all of these thoughtful steps, inhaling to lengthen, expand, exhaling to deepen, twist. Continue breathing deeply here for a few more breaths. And I don't know about you, but I have twisted deeper. And I believe, anatomically speaking, that we're able to twist deeper because we're bringing more thoughtfulness to our groundedness and to our alignment. And once we do those things, once we're grounded and once we're aligned, our revolution can go so much farther. So I think there's a powerful metaphor here for our twist. Reaching the arms up and over, grounding, inhale, lengthen, expand. Exhale, twisting to the other side. So in Sanskrit, the language of yoga, a twist will be described as pavrita, which is to revolve or a revolution. So twists in our body are literally revolutions in our body. We're seeing new perspective. We're transforming, we're shifting, we're detoxing. This is what we mean when we talk about decolonizing the body. Not only are we carving space out of this capitalist society that we live in to slow down and to bring sustainable practice to our body, but we're thinking thoughtfully about the connection between our body and the revolution that's much, much needed. Go ahead and roll the wrists, releasing tension from all the typing and texting we do, changing the direction of our circle. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. So as we prepare for this next twist, it's time to grab a sofa cushion or a stack of pillows. And the invitation here is to create an incline. So I'm going to stack this block. This could be books or a big can of soup or a can of tomatoes. And I'm going to create an incline with my pillow. Again, a thick sofa cushion, something really firm can work great. Or you can use a stack of pillows. So when we just broke down this twist, we're talking about twists as revolutions, literally detoxing and supporting the digestion in our body. Twists are great for that. But we're also thinking about taking a moment. How can this moment of meditation and mindfulness and care for our body, justice for our body, how can this be an act of resistance and an act of protest to carve out this space to heal together in community with our body and with each other? So I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on that and to continue thinking about this with you this week. So planting the feet, bending the knees. I'm sitting my lower back at the base of this incline, so I'm going to prepare to roll back. But before I do, I'm going to drop my knees to the right so that my right foot's placed just over my left thigh, so both of my knees are bent. The base of my hips are still at the base of this, and I'm just going to twist to rest my right side on this block, on this bolster, pillow, or cushion. Make any adjustments you need. So there is a twist with our right ear resting on the pillow on this incline. Again, make any adjustments that you want to feel comfortable. And if you're looking for something a little bit deeper, you can press up and turn the cervical spine, turn the chin to the right to rest the left ear on the floor. And this will just be a slightly deeper twist, definitely a little bit more intense. Okay, so finding some comfort here in this twist so we can just rest heavy. Wanting our left shoulder to rest heavy, wanting our left ear to rest heavy. And let's settle into this twist with some deep, slow breaths. Again, inviting some thinking into our revolutions. What transformation, what change, what decolonization is necessary in our bodies, in our work, in our relationships. And what can our body teach us to prepare for revolutionary action, for revolutionary space? Are we grounded? Are we practicing in alignment? And here, using the support of pillows and props, bringing the earth closer to the body so that our body can feel supported and safe. The reality is we are in a global pandemic. We are in crisis. That means our bodies are in crisis. Our bodies are experiencing trauma. So taking this time to notice how it feels to slow down. In this moment, we don't have to produce anything for anyone. Our value is not determined by a dollar. Just a few more deep, slow breaths here. And when you're ready, gently pressing up, rolling back to center, planting the feet, and this time For the other side, we'll let the knees drop to the left, making any adjustments in the hips so that our left foot is stacked right on top of our right thigh. And we can rest the left side down on our incline, left ear resting on the floor. This is a great place to be for a restorative revolution. And if you're looking for something deeper, you can continue that twist in the upper spine to rest the right ear under pillow or sofa cushion or incline. Letting our weight release into the earth, our groundedness, reach the spine long as we just rest heavy here into our support, giving our nervous system a message that we're safe, that our body is safe in this moment on this mat or on this blanket or however we're practicing. Continue to slow the breath down, release heavy, long inhale, slow, controlled exhales. Taking a few more slow, deep breaths here. And when you're ready, if you're ready, gently pressing up, coming back to center. And sitting up nice and tall. Maybe roll the shoulders open a few times. Very nice. So, next up, I'll invite us to open our hips for a seated straddle. Does not matter how wide the straddle is. This morning for Justice Flow, we're really thinking just about how to support and love on the body as much as we possibly can. Again, we believe that justice starts with the body, and that means giving our body time to slow down and to function at its fullest, which requires part of our nervous system to activate in extreme relaxation and rest. And again, we think that's a really political idea to slow down and pause at 10 a.m. on a Monday. So thank you for being here and breathing with us. So first things first, just to open up our hips a bit, we can alternate flex and point in the ankle, feet, toes. So warming up our ankles, our Achilles, our hamstrings, and our calves. And eventually, if you want something a little deeper, when we flex, we can lift the knee off the ground, and when we point, we can press the knee into the ground. So this is giving us some isometric work to engage with our strength, and we're really opening up the hip flexors. The hip flexors, our hips are connecting the top of our body to the lower part of our body. So they can be a source of tension in our lower back, in our hamstrings, and in our hips themselves. So opening up, releasing tension here, alternate flex and point. Maybe flexing both, lifting both knees, pointing both. Wonderful. Okay, so with your pillows, some of us might have a stock of pillows in front of us, which is great. You can make an incline for yourself and just kind of lean your chest forward. Anything, get creative, that feels supportive, that meets your body right where it's at. That's our goal here. Let's meet our body right where it's at and work from there. So whether you create an incline like this, or if you want to create a reverse incline, just kind of lean into your cushion, that's great. Depending on your flexibility this morning, you might also just lean forward. I'm not ready for that. I want to take it gentle. So find where you are, meet yourself there, create, if you need to pause the video and get more pillows, go for it. I want our torso to really feel like it's resting on something. So whatever you're doing to create support for yourself, I want to feel like you're able to really rest and just let your weight go. I'm keeping both of my ankles and feet flexed to protect the backs of my legs. The way we protect our muscles is by continuing to engage them. So finding a supportive stack of pillows or blankets or cushions, and really leading with the chest, leading with the heart, as if the chest, as if the heart would be the first thing to touch the floor. Slowing the breath down with intention, breathing deep. And we're going to be here for a while, so that's why comfort is so important. We're giving our muscles a message that we're safe and supported, and as a result, our muscles are going to release deeper here. And we might find that we tap into new ranges of flexibility and mobility. Feel free to wiggle, feel free to rock, but most importantly, feel free to just rest. Feel free to just be heavy. Just let your weight go forward onto the supported props, bringing the earth close to the body here. And once you've been here for some time, you might start to feel like, you know what, I think I can go deeper. And if you can, you might want to adjust. You don't need to. But if you feel like making adjustments to go a little bit deeper, go for it. As long as we can feel like we're resting our chest, resting our heart, nice and heavy. Slow, deep breaths. Feel your whole torso expand on the inhale. Feel the head lengthen, reach the spine long. On the inhale, exhale, just feel heavy, release. Notice what it feels like for each exhale to be heavier, deeper, to release just a bit more. Can you let go of even more of your weight? And when you're ready, gently pressing up, we can remove our cushion, bringing our feet back together, maybe planting the feet, bending the knees. Let's just rock the knees from side to side, just like windshield wipers, and feel that kind of massage of the outer hips into the floor, into the earth. Okay, so I'll invite us to bend the left knee and to actually hug our right shin close to the body. So I've hooked my arms underneath my right shin, underneath my right ankle, whatever works for you. However we want to hold this is totally fine, but holding in this right shin, let's go ahead and open and close our hip socket a few times. Open and close, and rocking front to back. Maybe rolling in a circle. Now, we're hugging our right shin in. I'm releasing the right hand to the back right corner. And once I roll this back right corner, I'm just going to experiment and rock and roll and see if I can find a little ball of tension in the outer right hip. This is your piriformis. So rock and roll. If you find it, you'll know. If you don't find it, well, good for you. Just kidding. But this kind of release, this fascial release of rocking and rolling, we can really truly release some inflammation here in the outer hips. And as we rock and roll, one thing that I think is really powerful about this part of our body is that we only feel this tension here in the piriformis. We only feel this tension when we're addressing it. So I don't know about you, but I feel it when I'm rolling on this outer hip. But when I'm not rolling on this outer hip, I don't feel that sharp pain. I only feel that sharp pain when I'm trying to heal that part of my body. So I think there's a powerful metaphor there that tension lives in the body even when we don't feel it, and that it's painful to address. So I think about systemic trauma, inherited trauma, and the ways that lives in the body, and the ways that those tensions and traumas are especially felt when we're engaged in the liberation, revolution, healing work. Go ahead and release that right leg, and we'll switch to the other side. I think about hugging this left shin in, taking a little breath here. We can open and close, just warming up the hip socket, rocking front to back. And rolling in a circle. Keeping the right arm hooked with this left shin, we'll release the left arm to the back left corner. Ooh, and finding that little ball of tension in the outer hip. Rock and roll on this left outer hip. And when we think about tension that lives in the body, we can also think about, tension that's left unaddressed, tension in our relationships. When we don't address it, when we don't heal in our relationships with others, that tension stays there. It lives in the body. It lives in us. And it's usually not a quick fix to heal, is it? So rock and roll a bit more here, taking care of our outer hips. Gently release when you're ready, and just rest this left shin down in front of you. So bringing this right foot to the outside of the left knee, I'll give a few options. So this is a great place to be. For some of us, the workout today might be sitting this right hip down to the floor. Now, I will say, this is where we have some blankets handy because you can add some great cushion with a pillow or blanket underneath the right hip if you want. And just let that right hip sit. Again, using support will help you go deeper. It will help you get more flexible. Whenever I'm giving advice to my students to get a split or something like that, I'm like, use support. That's going to help your muscles really lean in safely to something deeper. You can also put some support underneath this right knee, just like this. So I stuffed my blanket right here. So some of us might want to work on starting to close, knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. Be careful not to let this foot slide in too much like this, because we don't want to overstretch our ankles. We can keep both feet flexed to protect our ankles and Achilles and calves. And stacking knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. Now, if this is really intense, if you're looking for other options, we can also plant this foot and sit like so, opening up this hip. And we can do this on the floor as well. All of these are great places to be for our hips. So take your choice, experiment. There's not one right way. In fact, I think anytime someone's saying there's only one right way, it's important for us to question how white supremacy and masculinity and capitalism are infiltrating our mindset, because I think there's usually more than one right way. So once we're working on this stack, finding a supportive base for ourselves, stuffing pillows where they need to go, we can also think about reaching the chest forward. And if you are reaching the chest forward, we can still use pillows to support us. So we can even rest right here. So really, we're trying to minimize muscular work in this justice flow, and we're trying to maximize restoration, trying to maximize releasing tension specifically in the body. And hopefully this practice of justice together is preparing us for justice work to come for the rest of today and for the rest of this week, starting with the body, starting with our breath, starting with our muscles and the tension that's living in our body, and working outwards from there, and hopefully taking some wisdom from your body to bring to your practice off of the yoga mat. So rest in here, breathe deep. Grabbing any extra support you need. If you're finding like, you know what, I want just one more pillow, feel free to pause, go grab another pillow, grab another comforter, grab a blanket, grab a stuffed animal, grab a dog, a child, a partner. A few more deep breaths here. Really feeling the outer hips expand and inflate like a balloon on the inhale. And exhale, feel the hips just melt into the floor. When you're ready, let's release out of here. And we'll switch sides. So resting the right shin on the floor, bringing the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Now this side might feel totally different than the first side, okay? So the first workout today is sitting this left hip down. We may want to stuff a pillow or a blanket underneath this hip. And for some of us, the work might just be sitting that hip down, and that's a great place to be. If you feel called and ready, another thing we can practice is bringing the left knee to stack on top of the right ankle. Ankle on top of knee, knee on top of ankle. Again, we can stuff some support underneath this knee just to support our nervous system and to safely lean in to the depth of our flexibility. We can take modifications here or on our back. And if we're leaning forward, grabbing a pillow for support or some more blankets, and we'll just rest heavy for a few deep breaths, really encouraging us to visualize the hips inflating and expanding on the inhale, And exhaling to feel the hips melt into the floor, like they're getting heavier and weighed down. We're really using this exhale to ground, to release into the floor. Nice deep breaths here, continuing to think about the hips inflating and deflating. Maybe you're finding a moment to call in some appreciation for the support that we're getting from these pillows and blankets. And this is probably the slowest yoga flow we're going to offer this week. And we believe that really, truly slowing down and giving our body space to restore is like the best way to prepare for the challenges that are sure to come throughout this week. A few more breaths in solidarity together as we prepare for a day of revolutionizing, for a week of revolutionizing, for a lifetime of revolutionizing, to pass these gifts on to the next generation so they can carry on the fight. And when you're ready, gently pressing up, releasing the legs. Maybe you feel like your legs are spaghetti now. Some important tension released from our outer hips. And now, I just have two more things for us. Again, if you're like, oh my gosh, this yoga flow is so slow, then don't worry, we'll pick up the pace throughout the week. Hopefully we're living for a change in pace. But I also know that it can be really difficult to slow down because that's not how we're educated and socialized. We're educated to place value in efficiency and productivity and speed, and quantity over quality and all these other ways that white supremacy has infiltrated the ways that we are together. So the next thing is just a simple psoas release. And our psoas here is our hip flexor connecting, again, our legs to our torso and to our spine. So what I'm going to do is sit on a pillow. You might want a stack of pillows. You might want to use something that's really elevated or maybe just a little bit off the ground. And I'm resting on the floor. We can also press the hips up and slide a pillow underneath. But my hips primarily are elevated, head and shoulders resting on the floor. Now this might feel really great for us and really juicy. We also might want to stretch the legs long and feel that opening of your hip flexors with this elevation. Maybe this is too intense. We want to lower our support a little bit. That's fine. Or we can bend the knees. That'll help. Maybe we want more, so we can add another pillow underneath here to elevate even further. But let's just take a few moments opening up the psoas. And the reason I think this is so important to start off our week is I'm sure many of us will be sitting at a desk or at a table, working from home, hopefully. And for those of us who cannot, I know we do so much sitting in the car. I know I'm doing more sitting than usual. I'm used to dancing with young people all day, and now I'm like sitting at a screen and coordinating virtual rehearsals. So here what we're doing is we're combating all of the chronic sitting that we're doing, opening up our hip flexors. Feel free to rub your hip flexors with your fingers, giving some gentle massage here. But this elevation is just giving us some space to ease in, to open and release some tension here in the psoas. Our focus here is just to cultivate a feeling of heaviness, weightedness, groundedness. Like our hips are boulders, just sinking into the earth. Now, feel free to give the body anything else it needs. I'm going to plant my feet, press my hips up, slide my pillow out from underneath, and I'm going to give us a few options for Shavasana. This is really about finding the ultimate relaxation. So we created this incline earlier, and especially if you have lower back problems or just general back pain, an incline might be really nice for your back so that when you lay down, instead of just lying flat, we can lay like this. So this might be a great option for you. You may want to explore an incline with your back, no pressure. Something else we can do is elevate our knees so that our hips can feel even heavier, and we can just promote some more circulation by elevating our knees. So this is a great place to be. And I'm going to go ahead personally and try. I'm not going to elevate my spine. Instead, I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to explore using a blanket. So I'm just going to take my blanket, just kind of messily fold it a few times, and I'm going to slide that under my lower back. This is just going to provide some gentle support. If you ever feel a little tiny strain in your back, in your middle or lower back, just adding a little bit of blanket can really do the trick. Again, bringing the earth closer to the body so that we can be in alignment and feel supported. And then with my other blanket, I'm actually going to roll it up like a taquito, and I'm going to place that rolled up part of the blanket underneath my neck. So I'm not really elevating my head per se. I'm really just filling that space between my neck and the floor, and this is just one of my favorite things. Providing support for my neck, where my mental stress is stored. My knees are elevated, so we might want to try that. And if you still have a pillow to spare, it feels really nice to put some really gentle weight on the pelvis, on the hips. So if you have another pillow or some books or something that you can just rest on your pelvis, go for it. Any combination of this is great. A lot of people like to put a blanket over their whole body and create a nice little cozy cocoon for themselves. So here in Shavasana, making any adjustments that we need, Shavasana means corpse pose. So it is our practice of death. It's a reminder that we are all dying, but we're not dead yet. And it's a chance for us to, speaking of cocoons, to really evolve in our practice, to reflect about what we process, what we practice, what we thought about and felt in this care for our body. And think about how we can take those lessons, those questions, those thoughts and ideas, how can we apply them to our collective human body? How can we apply these lessons to our relationships? How can we apply these lessons to the ways that we move through the world? So connecting with this wisdom in our body and with our breath, here in Shavasana, hopefully we've minimized any work our body's doing. If you feel like your body's doing any work, find a pillow and stuff it underneath. We really just want to let our body rest here, which again, I think is an act of resistance, to rest together in this way. I'm sure many of us who are practicing together this morning are supporting others in many ways during this difficult time. And in this moment, your job is just to be supported by the earth. The earth can hold all of your weights. The earth can hold everything you're carrying. Feeling heavy and supported by the earth here. preparing ourselves to wake up, to have a fresh start, a reset, a revolution, trusting that our body has space to rest and digest, trusting that we're pulling our body away from its trauma and chronic stress response and into a more healthy, balanced space, relaxing the ankles heavy, relaxing the calves heavy, let the knees feel heavy, let the thighs feel heavy, hips melting into the floor. Let every vertebra of the spine release heavy into the floor, shoulders melt into the floor, elbows heavy, all of our knuckles heavy. Relax the jaw, relax the cheekbones, relax the eyelids, even relaxing the eyebrows and the forehead. There's no wrong way to show up in this Shavasana. So if your mind is wandering, great. If you're tuning out my voice, great. If you're focusing on the breath, great. If you're impatient and you don't want to rest anymore, great. That's okay. We can learn something from those feelings. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, bring our attention back to our bodies on this floor, in this room, with each other in this virtual space. Let's take 3 sighs of relief here, breathing in. Again, breathing in. One more time, let it all out, y'all. Breathing in. Stay here as long as you like. If you're ready, you can also roll over to your side in the fetal position, curling up in the ball. Find a moment of comfort here. Take your time. And if you're ready, when you're ready, gently pressing ourselves up to a comfortable seat. If you're still laying down, that's great. If you're in the fetal position, that's great. We can leave our hands as they are, bring the hands to heart center, or rest the hands over the heartbeat. A breath for the ancestors we bring to our practice, and for the indigenous people who were here before colonization. Breathing in and out. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today. Breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate others for their support, breathing in and out. And a breath for the intentions and well-being of everyone in this community we're building together, breathing in and out. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Make sure you drink some water. Thank you so much for giving me a reason to take care of my body this morning, for practicing with me, and for practicing with the Glitter Goddess Collective every morning at 10 a.m. Please share this flow if you enjoyed it. Please share any feedback, both things you loved and want us to keep doing and things you want us to try out throughout this week. We know that we have some folks practicing with us for the first time this morning from the virtual sustained PVD fair, and we want to take care of you too. So send us your feedback, send us your thoughts, what's working. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a weird photo of like, does this look right to you? We're happy to respond to your messages. And again, if you can donate, our Venmo is at the Glitter Goddesses.